So where would you rather be than right here, right now? Carm Capriato, 12 noon East Coast time. It's Tuesday. It is aftermarketweekly.com, live from the Remarkable Results Radio podcast studio. I have to tell you, it's the most unique aftermarket resource I think we have, because we do so many fun and neat and different things in the course of about 25 minutes. Did I mention that we have some fun? In fact, we're going to have so much fun today, it's going to be scary. We have I've talked to our guests here today, and we're going to be on fire. And don't forget, you can watch every one of these if you missed any one of these, and the great shop tours at aftermarketweekly.com. We're all there. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're all over the place. Glad to have you here. Hey, I got a great guest host. Wait till you see who's here. Yes, it's Greg Buckley. He's in the house, really. I love that. Greg, I thought that was apropos of you. Good to have you here. How are you, my friend?
Doing wonderful, man. Good to be here. I haven't been on the mic in quite some time, I think. So it's lovely to see you again.
Hey, do you know how long ago it was that we started and I invited you on the show, and I can't remember if you came or you didn't come. Rick, put that one slide up. Put that slide up. It was episode 19.
Yeah.
So
19.
we're at 500 and almost the 600th episode of Remarkable Results. So that was just a few years ago, like 2015, I believe.
Right.
And thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you for coming on and participating like you do. Thank you so much. Let's put up our agenda here for today. Greg is going to come by here and spend some time about rethinking your learning sources. And as everyone knows, Greg's got he does some deep think. And I just can't wait for him to shed some light on that. We're also going to tell you your fortune. We're going to give you a shop tour and do some trivia. We're going on our shop tour out to Shertz Auto Service, and we're gonna it's as pretty inside as it is outside.
Beautiful.
This is Mark Roberts' place. John Long too, and it's I think open 2 months. I got the tour last week as we were testing the equipment, and of course I sat there with my mouth open and I was drooling a bit. So we can't wait for Mark to show us his place. Don't forget, as I mentioned, all the episodes are archived out there on aftermarketweekly.com. Go and binge. And if you're watching us on social, wait a minute. Trivia. Let's do trivia. I have my own script and I need to follow this thing. What is the significance of the 40 in the name of Ford's 64 race car, the GT40? We'll have you the answer at the end. In fact, I actually stood next to that in the Peterson Museum in California in 2017. Hey, if you're out on Facebook, we're going to see your chatter. Please like us, tell us the city you're in, share this. This has become a weekly staple as we do this live, but also as we repurpose this thing. Hey, the latest episodes that we've done, I just want to mention to everyone, Doug Grills was with me. It released today, this really cool new format, 20 questions in 30 minutes. Well, Doug and I got into the studio almost like me and Buckley do, okay? And we just went. And this 30-minute episode ended up being way, way, way long. And we found out right in the beginning something we didn't know about Doug, and I'm not going to tell you about it, but it ended up going in a million different places during the entire episode, and it was so much fun. Doug is such a great guy from AutoStream Auto Service in the Maryland area, six stores. We also put out last Friday a great episode with Matt Manzone and Jim Fleshman. Matt Manzone came over to Fleshman's Auto from a dealership. Now, if you've not listened to the purpose and the reason that Matt left the dealership and came to an independent, and I've been striving to do an interview like this in a long time to help the aftermarket realize, hey, I interview dealer techs, and they say, it's too hard. I'd like to come over, but it's too hard. We got to learn all that stuff. Matt brought a completely different and fresh perspective to this. So please check them out. Mr. Buckley, I think it's time for you to come on and
Yeah.
Be involved in this, what I'm going to call a shrewd advantage, rethinking your learning sources.
Yeah, I mean, as we mature as a business and as we mature as individuals, there's different ways that we can learn, and I think sometimes I guess you don't want to put yourself in a silo. You could be talking KPIs and numbers and all kinds of stuff related to automotive, but some of the best advantages is actually getting outside of that silo and learning from different sources, no matter what they are. You have to be open to that. And a lot of times when you start to go down that path, you actually find some answers that are always right in front of you. And they can help you with better understanding your KPIs or better managing your business or learning to understand your business, the people within it. So we've only got a few minutes, and Carm, you and I have talked about it. We could go on a long time. So trying to condense everything. Basically, it's what I have felt over the period of time is that we've kept ourselves in silos, and that could be damaging to your vision, your mission, all kind of answers and questions that you could have. And recently, what I've looked at is I think the industry is now, and especially our coaches, our industry coaches, are starting to see more of a holistic situation. We're starting to learn that you got to fix the owner first. You got to fix the head. The head's got to be good before you can start really understanding and growing a good, solid team. Yeah. Knowing your numbers, how to produce the numbers, so forth and so on. So there's a couple of principles you can go. There are a couple of ways of difference of doing it, but it takes practice. And we can talk about two things that I kind of get into. It's like first principle thinking. Where you break a situation down and you relate it to something that you're familiar with, or you look for the actual core problem and build from there. So there's a lot of things that we can do, but getting into different groups, looking at things differently, and definitely your 30 to 40 minutes in the morning. And there's all kinds of things.
Greg, you said different groups, and I know you have really stretched your bounds in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And not only are you very involved in aftermarket groups, but you went outside.
Yeah, I do. I enjoy, look, I love everybody in our industry. I really do. And I absorb so much from everyone. And I'm a small guy, and I want to be the dumbest guy in the room wherever I can, because absorbing all of the knowledge within this industry is great. Yeah. But there's times when you need to go out and you need to see, well, what's it like on another side. And I'm involved with a group now that I thoroughly enjoy because it's diversified. And I can say who's running it, but that's Jerry Kazaya. I say Jerry, and Jerry has a great diversified group. I'm the only automotive person in this group, and not to be self-centered, but it's actually allowing me to open up. I get to see and work with different industries, like I did with Goldman Sachs. Great experience. So much you can see and learn from, and you could actually go and say, well, you know what? I'm not that bad. I'm okay. Yeah. So
you know what I love about what you're talking about is, and I wrote down the word big think or big thinking. Mm-hmm. And you can be a small business person. You could have 3 or 4 or 5 employees. You could do couple of $1 million, and then go out and get some of these big think ideas. Right. And then figure out, how do they relate to my business? And the plum off the tree, the ripe plum is, you never know how it connects.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I'll give you some strange examples. Okay. When you talk about taking something like, some marketing, right? All right. So I really thoroughly enjoy it. From all angles. One, because I want to see what it produces with my message, my media, whatever the case might be. So back in 2016, I'm at an industry event in Nashville, and I'm out for my morning walks. You guys know I do like to do a morning walk, and that's a lot of think time for me. Yep. So I'm walking past the Nissan headquarters, right? I'm on my way out to the walk, and I look at it and I go, that's weird. Highway 64 runs this way. Nissan is presenting itself almost 180 degrees out. And I go, that's weird. A million cars a day go by this, or a year go by this building with no representation facing the highway. So I go back and I come back and I go, wow, this is crazy. I look at the building and I'm looking at where I am. I see the sun rising up over the horizon, coming up. And I'm looking at the Nissan building. I'm saying, is it true that Nissan is facing the building due east, right? Land of the rising sun, Nippon, Japan, going all the way back. Sure enough, Nissan, the headquarters faces due east, dead east. I went down, I got my compass out. Now, that might seem strange, right? That you would say that I went there and I said, I got to prove this point. But in a homage to their legacy, the headquarters faces due east, land of the rising sun. Now, I take that back and I go back. I said, well, wow, that is a hell of a thing to think about when you're branding yourself. When you brand yourself, how much concentration are you giving it? Are you throwing out your name to throw it out? Are you looking at something different? Are you paying homage to your legacy? What are you building? So it may mean crap in a, just looking at it, like Christ, he's out looking at it. But that gets ingrained. And if you're not aware of those things, or you're not thinking, then you may never pick up that tip, that reason. When you look at a company that loves itself, that loves its heritage so much, it does something like that.
First of all, there's two things I'm going to take away from this first segment with you, and that is, if you've got your quiet time, your walk time, you can allow yourself big think, and then there's Greg Buckley big think, when how he figured out where the Nissan building was, and was it paying homage to the east? Oh my MGs there for you, Greg. Thank you for thinking of that, because it would have probably taken me an hour to figure that one out.
I mean, seriously, it's just
I'm with you. I am so everyone takes something away from this. No idle time. None.
Greg's a nutcase. But
hey, Greg is coming back. We're going to talk. Let me tell you something. We're doing a Carmcast tomorrow. If you guys do keys, if you don't do keys, you need to listen to this Carmcast tomorrow. The opportunity to add keys and programming to your company is huge. I just spoke to a couple of people about this as I'm doing more research. It's a phenomenal opportunity. We are going to talk about it tomorrow. And of course, I think you can all see Donnie's cipher there, because there's an awful lot you're going to learn tomorrow about what's going on as far as the key codes and some of the bad stuff that's going on in vehicles being stolen and stuff. And of course, Donnie's on the front line with that. Academy this coming Friday, buying and selling a tale of two deals. We have one couple that recently bought, and they're going to share their example. That wasn't an internal transaction, it was an external. And we have a very young couple that sold. They grew up 3 stores and they sold. And what are they doing now? Who'd they sell it to, and why did they do that? We can't talk enough about succession buying and selling, and we're going to continue that on Friday. And this Thursday, the Repurposed podcast that we did last week with Seth Thorson and his general manager, Daniel Gravely, 4-corner 4-wall inspection, and how it works, what he uses it for, and why he has created such a great company that the customers even notice all the time about how well it runs, and the great culture inside of his business. And that comes out Repurposed on Thursday from last Friday's Academy. Greg, I'd love you to come back. Sure. Let's keep rocking. Let's call this Rethink Your Learning Sources, about development and training and how you can improve yourself.
Absolutely. No problem at all.
So it's back in your court, my friend.
Oh, okay.
so you had said, Carm, we got to unshackle ourselves. So, how is it that you can get that deep think going?
I think that you really got to allow yourself. You must dedicate at least 30 minutes or so, preferably in the morning before you start your day, and actually shut everything off. Remove the apps from your phone. Put the phone away. You shut the computer down. Just grab a cup of coffee or a tea or whatever your beverage would be for a morning, if you want one, and just sit there and think. And that should start your day. People will do, they'll do logs, and they'll write down what their day was. That's always a good habit. I can't say that I'm that disciplined where I write things down, but mentally I'm really checking in. And then when you go for a walk, it's just really, for me, I completely get absorbed into the fact that you're walking and you're really just listening to, you can get the podcast, listening to music. I prefer music, and I'm thinking constantly, and you can actually see some answers. Like, your morning ritual of just thinking can solve so many issues and save you incredible amounts of time, money, and energy, because the answer may come to you in those 30 minutes instead of you spending hours and days and weeks doing something, spending something, building something, when it all turns out it's not worth it. So if you give yourself the time to think everything through from step one, like, building a house, you start here with the foundation and you build and build and build, you could see, you can probably look at the end game, I guess, that when the roof is settled and the doors are in, you got the keys and certificate of occupancy, I guess. But, you have to be able to give yourself that much time and take a little bite, take a little problem that you have and dissect it, go through it.
Is there value for writing things down if you come up with ideas, or
Yeah.
you're ready to tackle something? And for me, I don't know about you, but okay, I'm gonna get 30 minutes of quiet time. Here's what I want to think through. And when I start writing and I start drawing lines and I start prioritizing, it's almost like it starts to get more crystallized.
Yes, it does. Writing has been proven. I mean, writing with a pen and like, I'll have an iPad and I'll use my digital pen or whatever, and I'll write instead of type. And writing is proven to make you remember things. I think it's like 4-to-1, so there's a heavy emphasis on writing. But for me, what I'll do is, if I have an idea or I want to pursue something, I'll make a note of it. I'll give it a title, give it a lead, put some notes underneath of it, and then I'll go out and do my due diligence. I'll look at things. I'll see, is my idea right for the market? Am I right for the idea? Does it play out well? Can I bring it in? What are the costs? What are the solutions? What are the benefits? And all of that might take, weeks, months. You don't know. I mean, it's just something that you can constantly look at and go back on and go, all right, well, where is this evolving to?
Well, thank you so much. Hang out with me. It was, first of all, thanks for the motivation to remind me that I need to be in deep think more often than not, and that I also have to do more of it.
Well,
and that's critical. We're not doing enough of it.
And just a really shout out to all the coaches that are out there, because I've seen and been privy through multiple groups to see some of the new coaching techniques. And really, all of the coaches are starting to really emphasize this, thinking process. And getting you to really evaluate where you're at. So kudos to everybody.
Hey, thanks. Hang out. We're gonna get ready to go to Shertz Automotive and Mark Roberts. We're gonna do our fortune right now. And I just did open up the cookie. I'm sorry I smashed it, but let's get our fortune of the day right up here. Are you ready? A long-term goal will soon be achieved. And there's a way to do that. You need to have deep think. So who would have ever thought that this was your fortune that laid right into your lap? A long-term goal will soon be achieved. Thank you, Greg, for that motivation. Hey, by the way, classic episodes. Greg, I want you to check this out. Of course, somebody who's here.
Oh, yeah.
This is a beautiful, beautiful episode. Stress busters to deal with our emotional roller coaster from Dr. Dave Wyman. Greg knows Dr. Dave. You introduced me to him. He was so willing to come on. In fact, I just reached out to him and asked him if he would do a holiday stress thing with us.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And so, yeah, he's a great guy. Talent management, developing your leadership team. Mark Roberts, who's about ready to give us the tour, was on that Town Hall Academy. Please go out and spend some time with some of the if you're brand new to the podcast, you've got all kinds of catch up, and this is a way to kind of steer the ship a little bit. Hey, let's go out to Mark Roberts in Shertz, Texas. Hello, Mark. Let's bring up Mark.
Good morning.
Here we go. There he is.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mark.
All
Beautiful
right.
blue skies out there.
It is. It's a gorgeous day. It's Chamber of Commerce Day, so they love it. Well, let me turn this camera around. I'm sitting out at the front of the shop, and we'll
Yeah, let's see this. By the way,
Yeah.
everyone, a brand new build. You've been open for a very short time. Am I right?
Yes, we opened really September 1st. So that's our street sign. We do a different posting every day.
Got it.
We go out and program that sign probably 30 days in advance and stuff. So this is a road that's getting ready to get expanded to uh, 6 lanes, or really 5 lanes and a turn lane is what it's going to be. And so um, they're supposed to start January. This is just a big detention pond. That's a kind of an eyesore for us, but had to do it. So this is the front of the building. We're going to go through the drive-through bay first. So we put this bay on, and we take 100% of the cars through this bay, and it has all the Hunter tire check machine, the alignment check. And so we do all of our inspections in this bay. This is just everything goes through here. We image the car all the way around. It reads the alignment. And the cool thing is you can literally drive through this bay. They typically drive through it anywhere from 4 to 8 miles an hour. And it's good. It's got good readings, good accurate readings and stuff. And then instead of going through the door over there, I'm going to go through the front door here.
Yeah, give us that first impression. Let's look at that granite.
Yeah. So we do and we do have the lock boxes for after hours pickup and after hours drop offs. And so
very good.
We'll go through here, and here's our lovely ladies, Beth, who runs this store, and Vicky.
Hi, Beth.
Fantastic.
They always have we get the greatest compliments on them. And so this is, just a rock front, and then we put granite everywhere. This is our Hunter board in here. So as soon as they drive through, it comes through up here. You can look, there's a car they just drove through. It needs alignment. Tires look good. There's no factory recalls pending on it. We're using Spectro TV. It used to be 10-foot wave, and then a regular TV, just customer waiting area.
Hey, Mark, let me stop you for a minute and ask you a question about the Hunter machine, as well as you can see who needs an alignment and or tires. When you did your ROI on that equipment, what are you anywhere near the number of alignments that machine is producing for you, for the customer saying yes to?
Yes. Let me just tell you, like on the other store, we're doing it's more of a manual process. It takes us about 15 minutes per car. This is taking us about 4 seconds to get all that information. And when we started doing that at the other store, we ended up having to put an additional alignment machine in that store because of that. And that was just so we could do the check. So this really eliminated, and we didn't have to buy another alignment machine because we're doing that through here.
But the close ratio is good right now?
Yes. Okay. And this is just our coffee refreshment center, nice. Sodas, water, coffee. And then, of course, our bathrooms, they all have tile wall. I have a designer that pretty much does stuff. And I haven't fixed this yet, so that was an ADA violation because the shelf was too low. That was our only violation when we had our inspection, so we had to raise that up. So then on this wall, you can see the wrench that just matches our sign out front, and then we have our vision statement up there prominently displayed. Then back here is the production area where the production manager and the parts manager will work back here. This is John's office. We've already had to add a desk in here, so John and Angie kind of works at both stores, and so she does stuff here, she does stuff at the other store, and they go back and forth. John happens to be at the 3009 store doing lunch there today, so we haven't put any decorations in his office, and so then we have our security TV, so we can look at everything. We know where everything is on the lot, what's going on. This is our IT room, and who would have thought that you need this much technology to run a shop. So
and I do believe you did direct runs everywhere. Am I right?
did. We
Yeah.
did. We did. You know, if you're pulling cable, we said, you know what, we're going to pull at least 2 cables to every box. We tried to wire as much as we could, even though we have a pretty robust Wi-Fi network with access points all over. I just felt like, you know, if we're going to pull wire, and of course John did a little overkill. Instead of pulling 2, he pulled 3. So
Okay.
it was just cable, and I was writing the check. So
There's another box. What's that for?
So we
Look
have
at that. A great view of the shop. Now,
windows, so you can
who is sitting in here? Your dispatcher, shop manager, parts person?
the person and the parts person. And so
Okay.
right now we have a person out that's got a child with COVID, and so they're filling in. So John actually has been running production. And then this is just our room. This is we have a full kitchen, break room, and we cook in here, provide them sodas, and
Look at that full stove, Greg.
Man, I'm moving in.
Yeah.
full stove. That's John. That's for our resident. He's our resident cook. So
Yeah, John does love to cook.
So then the shop.
I don't know if you can hear me, Mark, but we're having
floors, and we have the base pretty much marked off.
We got a little freeze going here,
we
Mark.
Dropped out a little bit.
Yeah, we were dropping out a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Is that on your end or mine?
Probably your end. Probably a Wi-Fi issue.
So then every. Oh no. Every lift has.
Mark, I would suggest that you kind of, I don't know if you're using data or Wi-Fi,
up and down.
But it would be nice if you could get wherever you can get some clear signal on that iPad.
Okay, how?
We're frozen on the white car. Well, Greg, he was. Yeah, well, you're in it. You're in and out intermittently, Mark. Greg, he was telling me, that each of those are battery lifts, right?
Yes,
Mark.
Yes, they have 2, and I did switch over to just data. They do have 2 batteries in each one. So the difference is you don't have to need as much power. You just run a 110-volt circuits to it. It has a little 3-amp charger that charges those batteries.
Is that part of that shockwave that Rotary's offering?
Yeah, it is.
Is that what
it is shockwave?
That's what shockwave is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the lifts are shockwave, and
got it.
We've got our Pico scope cart there that's all with a big screen on it and stuff. And then we have several of these workstations throughout the shop for the technicians. We've got 4 of them that are throughout the shop. All of our clips and fasteners, and then we have a board here that's of course has our vision statement, and then the board basically is our performance, our daily performance and weekly performance that everybody sees, and we just kind of have to guess at numbers to start out. So have a 4-post, and we could actually do alignments on this one. It is an alignment lift, and we can move our Hunter rack to that lift if we needed to. We haven't had a need to do it yet. And so all the toolboxes match. We bought all the toolboxes for the techs. We bought the toolboxes. We bought the tool carts for the techs. And then can't see it on all of our cars. We don't hunt for keys, so all the keys stay with the car. So we use these super lock boxes on all of our cars, and the keys stay with the car. And everybody has a key to that lock box. They're issued that key when they come to work for us, and it's they're issued. They sign a contract for that key. Can't borrow. Don't loan it. Don't come to work without it. Don't lose it, or you're going to pay to recode all of them.
Yeah.
And the floors are epoxy, Mark?
Yeah. Yes.
Beautiful.
And have big fans. We have air conditioning. The shop is air conditioned. We've got 20 tons of AC up on the roof. All of our flush machines, some inventory. Hunter tire changer, Hunter balancer, and all of our oil. And
so much
so we
to
have our
learn
flush cover.
from building a brand new place, Mark.
Mm.
When you guys started to design this, did you pull the team together to get some great ideas from everyone?
We did. We had several people look at the plans, and we made this shop a little bit wider than we would normally do it. And then I prefer 15-foot wide bays. That's what I've always had. I know people think, well, that's wasted space, but it just gives you room to get in between the cars and
Mm-hmm.
have doors open and stuff. And yeah, it probably in a lot of people's mind, it probably doesn't make sense, but I just like a wide bay. And you can have a shop too small where it's just hard to keep clean because it's just too small.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing on this building, this is a tall building, so we can bring box trucks in, and these are all 10,000-pound lifts. There's a 12,000-pound lift there. The 4 posts is a 14,000-pound. Then we also have a rotary 16,000-pound lift for the big heavy trucks, and some of the box trucks that we work on. They're just a medium duty truck for the most part.
Anything, Greg, we've got to almost bring this to an end, Mark. But if there's anything final you want to show, but please stick around, Greg. It seems like Mark has thought of everything almost.
He's done a darn good job, man. That's amazing. Yeah, you deep thought that one.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
you got
beautiful.
to.
Congratulations!
You didn't
Mark,
see that car. That was our light. That was our bathroom light. So if someone's in the bathroom, that red light comes on.
Oh,
that way, if somebody is at the other end of the shop, they want to go to the bathroom, they know that, hey, it's occupied. No sense in walking all the way over there.
You see, that's wasted steps. Those are wasted steps. And that's part of efficiency and lean. And you can see almost the wider bays bring you that level of, I'm not going to fall over something. I'll bet you it's a workman's comp nightmare because you're working such tight quarters. And the world knows how tight our shops are. You have a 2 or 3 bay original place from 30 years ago. There's not much you can do with it. But when you get a chance to sit down with a piece of paper and an architect and a blueprint, and again, it's your style, it's the culture in your company, it's the marketplace you're in, it's the money that you have to invest in equipment because all of that has need and for size and a place to put it.
Very well done.
Well Beautiful. Thought out. Congratulations.
Very nice.
And it's a second store. I'm sure there'll be more like this coming as you guys are really rocking the world down there in Shertz, Texas. Mark, thank you so much. I'm going to put you on mute because we're hearing some extra interesting noise down there. Hey, I want to finish off by saying, hey, here's what we're doing next week. We're going to go out to Lametry's ADAS Calibration Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Brand new standalone facility. It's a 6-location collision center with their own standalone ADAS center. We're going to see it and hear all about it. My guest host next week is none other than Mitch Snyder.
Oh,
yeah. So Mitch is with me next week as my guest host. Let's finish up the trivia. What is the significance of the 40 in the name? Ford's 64 Racer, the GT40. And my friend Jerry Kazaya, who was hanging with us, got it right. It's 40 inches off the ground. So put that there. It is. The overall height of the car was 40 inches, and that's the car on the left. And I was actually there to take that picture. And then its sister car, much later in life, was over there to the right. Hey, this was a blast, guys. Really so much fun. Mark, I know you're on. Let me take you off of mute now. There you go. Thank you so much for being here. What an incredible new building. We appreciate it. And if you'd love to have your shop have a tour, just reach out to me, Carm at aftermarketweekly.com, or any other way you know how to get a hold of me. Half of you have my cell phone. Most of you have my private email. Everybody knows how to get through to me in Messenger. Love to have you. Greg Buckley, thank you so much. Mark Roberts. This was terrific. Don't forget, watch this archived on the web and or this afternoon sometime on aftermarketweekly.com. See you next week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All righty.
All right. See you now.